taken the ferry off of out of Port Renfrew, and we are now at the start of the trail up the beach, and immediately here we are at the first ladder. This is a fun way to start. Here we go. Up at the top, Cassie is coming up right now. It's harder than it looks. Our first bridge. It is not in the best condition of any bridge I've ever walked across. It still appears to be stable, just missing some steps and a little decayed, but it still does the job. And this is going to be our first multi-ladder descent. There's another one way down there, heading down over to that river. Got started to get a few of them. The continuation of that ladder section go a long way down, and a long way right back up. Boardwalk condition is occasionally kind of questionable. Derelict mule engine along the trail. Been there fuck knows how long. So I don't necessarily know if this is the way we still need to go. It's kind of hopefully looking like not, considering that bridge is gone and completely not a bridge at all. It is a ruin at this point. Oh. Well, looks like there's a sign pointing go this way now. Yeah, I've got to cross down there. Bridge, rest in peace, Sis, I guess. Damn. So here's our revised path. Go down, cross the river, stream really down here instead of taking the Bridgent. Some of these boardwalks are board hope. Fuck this. Missing steps and very much sketchy. Ugh. Get the hell off of there. This boardwalk used to go quite a bit further. See more remains of it down there. It definitely doesn't anymore. And here we are coming up on the beautiful Thrasher Cove, our campsite for tonight. Just down this ladder here, and we will be down in that beautiful looking beach for the night. Had dinner. Lights starting to fade out here. It's the lovely ocean in the evening. Tide's starting to come back in. Just finished having dinner and enjoying a nice campfire with our lovely Zoomer neighbors. And yeah, had a good night. Time for sleep. Do it all again in the morning. Day 2 right now is one of the lowest tides of the year. If not, it might be the lowest tide of the year. So The water is very far back, which is very nice. You can see even that rock that's usually submerged is not. And yeah, on our way to Owen Point. Walking along these rocks, some of the biggest barnacles I have ever seen in my life. These things are huge. If anyone wants dinner, that is hundreds of mussels all over this rock. Oh, for some reason, way up here on this rock, there is a chair sitting here. I suppose it's got a pretty lovely view to sit at and enjoy. Not sure who decided to haul it all the way out here though. Some really cool rocks out here, worn away by the tides over the years. Make all these caves and arches. I believe this is Owens Point. And this is, so yeah, this is the arch at Owens Point. Beautiful little area. Here we go for our first time having to walk through water on the trail. It's fucking freezing cold. Like, holy fuck, is this water cold? But walk through the Owens Point Arch, get a nice view out here. Oh, we got a little bit of ground to cover in the water, I think. We are getting flooded out by the tide. Oh, that's bracing, let me tell you. 5 hours, multiple attempts, some wet shoes, and some slips and falls, and 2 pairs of wet pants later, we have made it 15 feet and gotten past Owen Point. Holy shit, that was way harder than I thought it was gonna be. And tides don't fuck around. Pay attention to your tide tables, guys, if you ever do this trail. Holy shit, that was hard. Our first surge channel, they say don't try to jump across them. I don't know, I think I can make that. No, fuck. All right, here we go. Up and down, well, down and up. Beautiful little cave here. We're just gonna walk right over the roof. We are on this fucking windswept hellscape of a sandstone shell with all these random perfectly circular tide pools that were at the very beginning shot there. This it's very windy here. Ocean crashing on the waves, surge channels all over the place. And there's these massive tide pools that they must only get washed out on the highest of high tides, because we're a ways up, and I don't think the water covers this shelf every day. There's one right there. Back up into the forest on a ladder of tree roots. How kind of the trees to so graciously build such an incredibly climbable structure for us. Oh, hello, forest. It's been a minute. I don't think we'll be back in here for long yet, but we're here for now. Sketchier bridges of my lifetime. It's literally just a pile of driftwood stuck at the end of a surge channel. And there's a whole whack more of it down there. Apparently, a lot of people got themselves hurt trying to get around this surge channel here by going all the way up there. Tide's low enough that we don't even need to think about that, but they've got it fenced off anyway, because yeah, that looks nasty. I wouldn't want to try and get around that. It'd be a hell of a fall. Back on the trail after getting off the beach and that sandstone ledge. Some boardwalk sections, very nice and easy. Some's in better condition than others. This section not so great, but you know, it functions. Keeps you out of the mud and the muck. They've definitely seen better days, though. I don't think standing in the middle of them is advised. The trail is a tree. Why make a boardwalk when you have a nice, convenient tree? Look how much ground we're covering and how little it costs the Parks Department. Because it's just a tree. End of day 2 was really late. It's like 11 o'clock now. But we made it to Camper Creek despite our delay at Owen Point. And yeah, we made it. Amazing. Good night. Morning of day 3. Got a bit of a drizzle going on. There's the cable car we went over yesterday evening in the dark, which was a little sketchy when it was pitch black, but it was pretty nice. Lovely little area. Camped just around the corner next to some cliffs on the sand, not the rocks. And yeah, it's Camper Bay campsite. So we have this huge fallen tree, and then growing out of this fallen tree, we have another fallen tree that's also died. Well, it hasn't fallen, but it's dead. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 trees and a few ferns that I can see growing out of that dead tree. It's treeception. Choose your own adventure here. You can either take this log to the stairs or that log to the ladder. I'm feeling stairs today.
I don't like how steep that log is.
It's
I'm taking ladder.
yeah, this log is definitely a little sketchier. Especially when it's a bit wet. Yep. But we're up and over. Found a viewpoint with a bench. What the hell is this? A bench on the West Coast Trail? 2 benches. Shocking. And oh wow, what a view. Hello. Beautiful. Our first real mud pit. You can see where the boardwalk was and now isn't. Looks like there's a path around it. Some people just cut straight through though. I don't think I'm going to. That looks like hell. Is this a trail? Sandstone Creek. That's one of the more interesting waterfalls I've ever seen. And then it looks like there's another one kind of like it on the other side. Heading down into some serious pools. This thing must absolutely rage at times. So this is Colite Cove. This is Colite Creek. There's a campground here over that away. And I tried to get over there. The path to get there is awful, and I couldn't even find the path. I ended up taking a fucking dip in the creek, trying to figure out where the hell everything was. And now all my clothes are soaking wet. Luckily I had a spare set, but shoes are saturated. Not going to be super fun hiking in that for the rest of the trip. A little clearing here, probably a fire or an extreme windstorm here a few years ago, and all the new growth slowly taking over. Makes for a nice change of scenery from the massive ancient trees to all this young growth with more underbrush, more flowers because there's more sun, and a surprisingly good boardwalk through it all. It's old, but it's only missing a few steps. So I said the boardwalk was in remarkably good condition. I lied. This is supposed to be our 49th ladder. It's missing like 4 rungs. I'm gonna take a pass on that one. This is the I believe Logan Creek Bridge. Creek. This is a bridge over a creek. Holy fuck. That's a long way. And you're gonna join me for this walk because I say so. And we're gonna take a look oh boy, this is just like the Capilano suspension bridge when I was growing up, and that thing scared the shit out of me then, and this scares the shit out of me now. I ain't gonna stop, but I'm gonna tilt this camera down and hopefully you guys can see somewhat how fucking far down. Pretty cool little piece of forest engineering here. This is the top of a tree that then leads to the rest of the tree, and then they cut stairs into it to get you down to there. And I crossed all that muck. Wait, made it to Walbrand. Some cool little caves over on the other side. And hopefully it's supposed to be a lot easier from here on out. The sea is pretty heavy today. And it's a beautiful day. Day 4. We're leaving Walbran Creek a little later than I would have hoped, but slept in a bit. It was nice. We'll be on the beach mostly today, unless we get flooded out, which should be some easier walking. Started to have some pretty significant gear casualties. I was trying to dry out my shirt that got wet yesterday when I fell in the river, and put a hole in it with a couple of embers off of a fire. So that's done. Cassie melted part of her shoe also near the fire, so she's gonna need new shoes. My phone still has not turned on since I went in the water. We lost the pointy end of one of Cassie's trekking poles in one of the many foot deep mud sections we were trying to traverse. Yeah, yesterday was a bad day for gear. Things keep breaking, but we're still going. And it is a beautiful day on the West Coast Trail. Just look at that fucking ocean. It's interesting, the transitions here on the beach. It was all sand 5 minutes ago, then suddenly and instantly it was all rocks. And now, suddenly, it's all sand again. Trying to pick our way across this swampy tide pool mess over here, where randomly it could be 8 inches deep, or you could just be able to walk on it, and it's hard to tell from a distance which is which. But this is all underwater in a couple of hours. On the mostly desolate beach, and then a field of purple flowers. Gorgeous. So, thinking this might be Vanilla Point already. We're making pretty fabulous time today. Lovely waterfall over there. There's a bald eagle on top of that rock. That's pretty cool. And yeah, that would be the point there, I think. Lovely little stream. This is a very nice little place. The first lighthouse, what was it called? Carmana Lighthouse was in sight just about a minute back around the corner. You can't see it now, the trees are in the way, but we are moving today. Got lots of these little island, I guess, type things where the ground is eroded everywhere except for one little spire, and the trees are having a heyday over there. And way off in the distance, and getting less distant every step, is Carmana Lighthouse, which is really a heartening thing to see. Means we're doing really fucking well today. really nice shot of just how rough these seas are right now. It's not crazy out there, but makes for a nice view. Very dramatic. Waves crashing on the rocks. We are here on the gondola across Kermana Creek, and here we go. As far as we get naturally. We got to pull the rest of the way. On the other side now, there's the cable car, looks like, when it's empty, and there's the cable. Pulling yourself, the up half of it is a little bit of a upper body workout. So out here in the middle of more or less nowhere, we found the most unexpected thing. It's a burger shack. And we're having burgers at the beach with their table that they just built today. This place was closed last year. I guess the old owners retired or something, and now they're back going. Don't know what they're gonna cost. I don't really care. That sounds amazing. Let me tell you, out here, this is heaven. Oh, we just had a wonderful burger. It was delicious, and then we chatted with the proprietor for a few minutes afterwards. It is not easy to set up a restaurant out here. She has to hike an hour and a half on her private trail to get to her car, drive 27 kilometers to get to the road, and then drive to town to buy the groceries, then do that all back, and that is an hour and a half on the trail with all her groceries on her back in order to have a restaurant here. They don't have a particularly extensive menu, and I don't blame them in the slightest. Burgers is plenty. And it was so good. Hit the spot like you wouldn't believe. Here we are at what was once a welcome sight on the horizon, the lighthouse. There's been a lighthouse since the late 1800s here. This one was built in, I think, the 1920s. And what a beautiful place to live. They get, there's their helicopter pad where they get their groceries once a month. We emerged back onto the beach for an easy 2K to Cribbs Creek and our stop for the night. Probably won't be able to see them on the video, but those two rocks way out in the distance are absolutely covered in sea lions, dozens of them. Crazy. Nothing particular to say. I just love the waves. Of all the beaches I've been to in my life, I don't think I've ever seen one as pristine, nearly untouched, no trash, just a few footprints from passing hikers, and it's gorgeous sandy beach, but it's so inaccessible that it hasn't been fucking ruined, and that is a rare sight.
Made it to our camp. This is Cribs Creek. As you can see, there's a shocking amount of sun still in the sky. So I'm doing
Abso-fucking-lutely nothing, and it's great. End of day 4. We're at Crib Creek still. Sun's setting over there. Have a campfire with everyone who's staying here right now, and yeah, just had a nice relaxing afternoon. I napped for like 2 hours on the beach. It was good. Bye. We are leaving Cribs Creek, and gotta climb up on these rocks and start heading over towards the Dare Cliffs. So up on top of these rocks, we can see it's kind of an interesting part of the path. The ocean obviously is right here, and then it's this rock shelf, and then on the other side is where we were just walking, which is a tide pool. So when high tide comes in, this becomes almost an island, except it does connect way over there, and it's just this long stretch of these rocks that kind of shield this tide pool during the low tide. This is Dare Beach. Those are the Dare Cliffs, and that point over there is Dare Point. It's all named after a ship called, shockingly, Dare, that shipwrecked off this off the water here. So we talked to a few people who took the forest section here, because you can't apparently pass this area when the tide's high. Luckily tide is all the way out right now, but apparently the path up on those cliffs is right on the edge of the cliff and hasn't been cleaned up at all recently. So the the trees and brush have overgrown the path a bit, so you're constantly kind of fighting your way past all the branches and such, and you're like 2 feet from the edge of a cliff. So that didn't sound like a lot of fun. We're quite happy to take the beach here. Coming around the far part of Dare Point, and it's gonna be impassable headland up here shortly. Gonna have to cut into the forest, but for now we're still walking along these rocks. I don't imagine it'd be much fun if the tide was in, but it's still way out there. Lent a knee brace Cassi brought. It was intended for me in case my knee gave. My knee's been shockingly good, and another hiker we've been pacing with, same campsite every night since we started, she blew out her knee, and so I managed to help her out, which is always nice to help out another hiker. Reached one of the impassable headlands, and yeah, vaguely passable, and I ain't even gonna consider trying it. We got a ladder right up there.
Dylan, pass the weed.
That's gonna be...
Why are all your clothes off?
It's gonna be a nice walk up in the forest for a little bit, get around this. Went up the ladders. Here's the view from the top. You can see where it gets impassable right there. you'd have to scale that cliff. And I think the ladder was definitely the right call. Found a little tiny cave. Gonna walk through it because why the fuck not? It's a little jammed with driftwood.
Can I get a hiya?
Going for a little run to get away from our impromptu hiking buddy Connell and his interesting noises. And so I could sit on this log here and enjoy the beach and just get a nice little morning jog in. Felt nice. Back into the forest and on the Didadat tribal land now, so absolutely no straying from the trail for a little bit here. This is a lovely section of forest though. Lovely bridge over Chihuahua Creek. Oh, and it is really pretty up here.
I like this. Oh my lord.
Just another pretty section of the forest. Walking along some old but surprisingly stable boardwalk. And it's boardwalk for quite a ways here. As far as the eye can see, there's boardwalk and pretty trees. It's a lovely sunny day. Weather has been remarkably good this entire trip. Some kind of an old abandoned building here. Clearly hasn't seen use in quite some time. But they sure had a hell of a view while they lived here. Oh, there's more houses over there. I'm thinking this is the abandoned village along the route. Can't imagine why they'd abandon it. What a view!
What a view.
Made it to the crab shack at Nitnat Narrows. There's a pupper dog. That's Kenai. And what a view they have here. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but you can see a million fish in this super clear water as well. And then there's the crab waiting for us to eat them right in that little tank over there.
Fully loaded potato and
They see a bunch of bears, they say, pretty much every day right on that shore over there. That's what the dogs are for. Scare them off.
And my feet are
Feeding frenzy time.
Well, enjoy it.
Any little scrap I missed, they will happily destroy.
Oh yeah, get all the crumbs. Pick them shells clean before they hit bottom.
So this is Duke. Oh, he's running away now. And he is the cutest 2-month-old puppy I have seen in my life.
The other hiker said they seen her walking around down there. Could Derek call it?
Taking the ferry across the Nitnat Narrows right now. Man, it gets real narrow. And there's the ocean right there, coming around the corner. Well, this is something really nice to see. Just a beautiful little cove. Ladders to nowhere. Looks like that used to be the trail. and is not any longer. Now we just go along this way. Looks like might be switchbacks up to do the same general elevation gain, but no ladders. So they number the bridges. This is bridge number 56. It isn't. Another one of these gorgeous coves. And this one down at the very bottom, you can see right in the center, has a lovely looking little sea cave. Shame there's no real way to access it. Back onto the beach for the last 4K on the way to Sutsiat Falls, where we'll be stopping for the evening. Should be able to take the beach the whole way from here, which sounds real nice. It's not the best sand I've ever walked on, but man, it's flat. So they say this area is impassable if the tide is above 7 feet. We were figuring it would be just around there when we got here. And looks like we figured right, because it is just now getting low enough that we don't have to scale anything or do any wading. Barely. Another 6-8 inches up, and we're getting wet coming around this corner. But right around this corner should bring us very close to Sutsiat Point, which is a lovely arch in the ocean. Oh yeah, this is cutting it close. Hopefully the arch is visible right up at the top of here. There it is. Sutsiat Point. Hole in the rock. Gorgeous. Timed the waves a little bit to get up here because they were still washing in and I didn't want to get my feet wet. But I'm up on the rock. Hopefully I'll be able to get around Sutsiat Point this way. Maybe not, but spirit of adventure and all that. This is Sutsiat Point though. There's the arch right ahead. And yeah, you can see the water is still hanging around a bit. Going through all the channels up here. There's another path around the backside that Cassi is taking. I see it's still coming up there on both sides, but maybe I can make it up over here. Took a little spill there. I'm okay. Does not, however, look like Sutsiat is passable until the tide's a little lower than it is right now. But here is the arch, and yeah, Sutsiat from the other side. It's not too far from there being a path there, maybe another half hour, but not there yet. And I don't care to walk through the water just to say I did. I don't know if you can see it on this, but that's a bald eagle flying by and just perched up on that tree. We got some beautiful cliffs here, very tall, and we're just coming up on Tsutsiat Falls, which will be our campsite for the night. 16 kilometers today, by far the longest day of our trip. We have 2 more 12s and then we're out of here. Morning of day 6. We are at Tsutsiat Falls Campground, and this is Tsutsiat Falls, which is a really gorgeous waterfall. It's a very foggy morning this morning. Can't really see too far any direction. Back there is where we camp. A little chilly this morning, but overall looks like a good day for a hike. We'll be in the forest a lot more today, and then just one more sprint to the finish tomorrow morning. On our way for day 6, 13K today, mix of beach and forest. And we're off. And now we are at the top of Tsutsiat Falls. We camped at the bottom of these last night, and here's what it looks like from the top. Just a really nice panoramic shot from the top of this cliff. Gondola. We got people on both sides helping, so it's real easy this time. No hard pulling. Back on the beach for a bit. One of the less easy beaches we've done. Not as bad as the boulders near Thrasher, but it's pretty rocky, and slows you down a little bit picking yourself through. So they call this the graveyard of the Pacific. That's one of its victims' anchors right there. There's another chunk of something or another back this way a minute. Not sure what it is, but it's probably off a wrecked ship. Nothing else remains, but there's a few mementos left behind for all the ships that crashed here. So a lot of these log walk sections have chainsaw or something marks to, you know, add some grip. And on a few of them, people have done some art in order to add grip. It's been leaves, fish, Native American symbols. It's been pretty cool. And right up here we have another donkey engine. God knows how long it's been here. At least 100 years, I'd say. But it is pretty neat looking. Just some old, corroded machinery. Oh, you can kind of see the inside of the tank a bit as well, because it's corroded away. That's neat. And now we have a derelict grader. Presumably they used this to help flatten out this section of trail at some point fuck knows how long ago, and then just left it. It's certainly seen better days. So I believe this is the Valencia Bluffs, named after the Valencia, which was the major shipwreck that caused this trail to be made in order to facilitate rescue in case there were another disaster like that, because 133 people died when that ship crashed. Also here is a wonderful surprise. Parks Canada red chairs. The most remote ones I have ever personally found by a long shot. Heading over the Tsakawis River right now, and pretty little waterfall section here. Looks really nice. Right before it heads out down there and into the ocean. The waterfall in the background is Orange Juice Creek. You can see it comes up to here and then it just kind of disappears. And then it runs under through the sand and comes out here to run into the ocean. I have never seen something like that in my life, and it's really cool. Darling Creek in the campground. Last campground before we stop, and here is the bridge over the Darling Creek. One thin piece of driftwood. Right there is the boiler from one of the ships that shipwrecked here. It's either the Michigan or the Mascot. The Michigan sunk here, and the Mascot came to salvage and caught on fire and also sank. So one of them left a boiler behind here. I think the rest has been salvaged or rotted away into the sea. Some passing hikers said they saw a whale not that long ago breaching off in the water here, so hopeful for that as well. Gray whales are migrating right now, so decent odds. So it's not going to show up on this camera whatsoever, but there is a whole pod of gray whales right there. And we're seeing spouts all the time. Sometimes we catch their tail. There's another spout right there. There's his tail. Like, you can, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but
Tail.
they're quite a sight. It's majestic. There's a good word. End of day 6. We're here at Michigan Cove. All is well, and gonna get an early night tonight so that we can wake up early and do the final push. 12-kilometer route tomorrow. Hopefully we want to be done by about 1:30 so that we can catch the bus and get home. We got up bright and early because we don't want to miss the bus at 1:45. So doing this last 12K. Woke up around 5 in the morning, hit the trail 5:40. And ready for the last little bit of the West Coast Trail. Seen a lot of trees in my life with unusual growing patterns, but this one might take the cake. There is the bottom of it on the bottom of another tree, and it's twisting all the way out to there. That's weird. There is a bear right there on that tree. We are moving on immediately and staying the fuck away, but figured I'd grab a shot real quick. They are black bears. They are more scared of us than we are of them, but I'm also rather scared of them because they will win a fight. They don't know it, but they will. This is Pacino Lighthouse. This is the oldest wooden tower left on the west coast of North America. It is from 1907. This was also built in response to the Valencia disaster. People were pretty cut up about that one. Oh, they got all the distances to all sorts of different places here. I don't know if I want to do the swim to India. That seems quite far. And here's the view. Not bad at all. So, talking with the lighthouse keeper, apparently this last 10 kilometers was actually maintained as a motorbike road until the late 1960s. So it is by far the best condition section of the trail, because from the lighthouse to the end is this, where it was highly maintained and very built up because there was a small community living at that lighthouse. And then from the lighthouse to where the Valencia wrecked was maintained until the late 40s, early 50s. And then from there south to Carmana Lighthouse was not really maintained at all past, I think, like the 20s. And then from there south wasn't maintained at all ever, because it was never more than just a woodland trail. So that is a big part of why the trail gets so much easier the further north you go. It's because it was maintained longer and maintained better for more people and more uses prior to becoming the West Coast Trail that it is today. I said they used to ride this trail on a motorbike, but I did not expect to find the motorbike that they used to ride it on. Needs a little grease and TLC, but that looks like it'd be fun to ride. That big dead tree there, probably won't be able to see it on the camera, but there's a woodpecker hanging out on there, hopping around trying to find some food. And way up at the top of this dead tree, there's a whole bunch of other trees that are taking root. Probably, I want to say, at least 60 feet off the ground, which you don't see that every day. Coming down onto the beach for the last stretch, the last kilometer along the beach. That red sign right there says a very, very nice thing. WCT office. We made it. This is the end of the trail. There it is, right there. Holy shit, we're done.